Carol Vorderman has flagrantly breached BBC impartiality rules, according to MP for South Thanet Craig McKinley. The Countdown star's supposed anti-conservative remarks on Twitter and Instagram have been called out by the politician. The 62-year-old is claimed to have made Gary Lineker's controversial statements seem almost mild. The broadcaster, who hosts a weekly show for BBC Radio Wales and has appeared on Have I Got News For You, regularly tweets her 842,000 followers with her views. Last month she shared, the Tory Gov has now lost around half of those who voted for them in 2019. Why? Sinead O'Connor's cause of death update given by coroner cause they're a lying bunch of greedy, corrupt, destructive, hateful, divisive, gaslighting crooks. No need for a focus group, Sunak. He'll just tell you the same. MP Craig McKinley called for the BBC to investigate as he told the Mail Online, "She has certainly been on a strange journey because you don't find a more rabid anti-conservative inhabiting Twitter these days. I know she's been having this spat with Johnny Mercer and his wife for some time, but she's in receipt of the BBC coin." He continued, "She has flagrantly crossed any boundary of impartiality, fundamental to the BBC's charter, and is indulging in very anti-conservative rhetoric." Don't miss. Strictly star Jeanette Manrara gives birth to first baby with Alyosha Skorjanek. Latest, inside Brian May's health woes, marriage split and devastating tragedy. Insight, Kevin Spacey mouthed 2 words while leaving court before emotional statement. Update, she's using her not insubstantial Twitter following, which will only go up on the back of her BBC programme, to actually promote a political viewpoint. Gary Lineker crossed some boundaries, but they seem almost mild compared to the new space that Carol Vorderman is occupying, and it's time the BBC reminded her of their own guidelines. The former footballer was taken off air for criticising the language used by ministers when discussing the government's asylum policy. The channel backed down after a long list of other presenters refused to host in solidarity, with Carol also tweeting her support for Gary. Following his return to Match of the Day, the Director General of the BBC, Tim Davie, announced a review of his social media policy, to be led by an independent expert. The guidelines state, where individuals identify themselves as being linked with the BBC, their public expressions of opinion have the potential to compromise the BBC's impartiality and to damage its reputation. Recently Carol has been engaged in an online spat with Johnny Mercer and his wife Felicity. Discussing the possibility of him losing his seat in the next general election, she shared, "Gosh, what are arrogant Johnny Mercer at Johnny Mercerook and his wife going to do for a joint income of £160,000 plus enormous expenses? Not a degree in sight in spite of expensive private education. So who'd employ them?" expressed. Co.uk has contacted a spokesperson for Carol Vorderman and the BBC for comment.